Hi, this is Nathan Oxenfeld with Integral Eyesight Improvement in Carborough, North Carolina. Today's video, I wanted to share 10 vision facts with you. And that's kind of a play on word because I want to share some facts with you, but I'm also referring to frequently asked questions. So it's going to be kind of like a Q&A video like I've put up before, just taking some of the comments that some of you have left underneath my videos, asking questions. Because I think that they can be really beneficial to other people, because you may not be going through all my videos, scouring through all the comments to read all the comments and all my responses, because I do try and respond to as many questions and comments as I can. I've actually got more than 10 questions I'd like to answer today, but what I've done is I've kind of categorized them into 10 different sections. So we're going to jump right into it. The first one deals with the role of a vision coach or a vision teacher, such as myself, in terms of why you might need some additional help beyond just the basic videos I have on YouTube or some of the other videos you might find online or books that you might read on your own. So the first question I'd like to read comes from Cookie Thunderstorm. They left a comment saying, "I really want to improve my vision. It's what I think about every day. Everyone here is saying, great video, but does this really work? If anyone here could confirm, I'd really appreciate it. I have been wearing glasses for 10 years. Both my eyes are -4. And they followed up with another comment saying, a lot of people have tried before I got here to my channel, and if it worked, this channel's videos would be filled with, OMG, you changed my life, thank you, which it is not. So obviously it raises suspicions. So in my response to that, I've got a couple different responses to that, but in general, most of the people who subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch these videos and try these things out for themselves aren't actually my private vision students that actually hire me as a coach and pay me for private one-on-one vision training lessons, either in person here in North Carolina or online over Skype, or some of the people who take my 12-week online course from home as well. Typically, the majority of the people here on YouTube are looking for free content and little ways to kind of get started and get them thinking, and just finding ways to do it on their own. And that's great to have that desire. And that is a form of getting help, using me as sort of a coach, but a little bit less directly. But if you think about this like you think about other things, like if you wanted to lose a bunch of weight or get in shape, what is your success rate going to be just watching YouTube videos about it and trying to do it by yourself at home versus going and joining a gym or hiring a personal trainer? Or if you break a bone in your body, you're not necessarily just going to watch YouTube videos of how to rehabilitate. You might actually go into a hospital and pay for physical therapy. Or if you're having some pain in your back, you might go see a chiropractor or an acupuncturist. And the results that you get by actually taking that action and actually paying for some services usually increases the quality of your results. And I'm also sharing this from personal experience because I spent the first 2+ years of my vision improvement practice just doing it on my own. Just reading books about it and searching online for videos and help where I could just for free. And, I was not seeing the results that I set out to get. I really, just like you, I really wanted to improve my vision, and it's what I thought about every day. And so that's really good that you have that desire. But for me, it wasn't until I took the leap to actually pay my vision teacher, Dr. Tabor, to guide me through and coach me. And I Skyped with her almost every single week for almost a year. And so that is how seriously I took it. I knew that it mattered so much to me. Didn't matter how much I paid for it, because I didn't really put like a price tag on my vision. because it's so important to me. And I knew that even if I put money towards it now, it was actually going to be saving me money in the future. You know, if I got my clear vision back naturally, I wouldn't have to be paying for eye doctor visits and glasses and contacts for the rest of my life. So yeah, sure, there is an investment up front. And I mean, it's a good investment because you're investing in yourself and your health and your wellness. But I think it's a smarter thing to do economically to pay for vision training lessons, because you're learning a skill that you can develop, and it's going to maintain clear vision for, you know, much longer than you're already putting money into the optical industry and paying the eye doctors and the glasses and the contacts and the surgeries, which aren't really giving you any relief from the vision problems themselves. A lot of times that's actually making the problem even worse. And in terms of saying that you haven't seen many comments of, you know, people proclaiming that this works, you might want to look a little bit harder, because there are lots of comments under lots of my videos of people sharing their successes, and actually some of them I'll share later in this video as well. But for other people watching this, if you have experienced benefit from watching my videos, or you've noticed an improvement in your vision or a change in some way, go ahead and take some time to share that in a comment underneath one of the videos, because not only does that make me really happy, but it'll help people like Cookie Thunderstorm, who are looking for some more concrete evidence that, you know, it's worth it for their time to invest their time and energy and maybe even money into pursuing this further. I also invited them to visit my website, because there's a whole list of testimonials and case histories of my private vision students who I have worked with on an ongoing basis, who go beyond just watching the free videos and they hire me as a coach. Got some really good success stories on there. So anyone, you know, go to my website, check out the testimonials, and it's always really inspiring to hear the success of other people if you're looking for that yourself. And all of Dr. Bates's books and lots of other vision teachers out there have countless, you know, success stories. So yeah, just go online, do some research, and you'll find lots of proof that this stuff really works. And I thought it was interesting that another person responded to that comment, Alexa Teles. She said that the reality is that few people have the attitude and discipline that methods like this require. Most people love immediate and miraculous remedies. Bates is more successful with people with good attitude and discipline. So I totally agree with that. You know, the Bates method is not for everyone. There's always going to be people out there who are lazy and they just would rather, you know, wear the contacts or wear the glasses and not think about the deeper levels required for healing on that deeper level, which we'll talk about later in this video. But there are people out there who do have that desire and do have that discipline required to succeed with this. So this isn't to say that you can't do it on your own. I've met several people who have improved their vision without a coach or without a teacher. What I've seen so far, though, is that it just makes it a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot more efficient to make sure you're doing it correctly when you have the guidance and the accountability of a professional, a certified Bates Method teacher who has already gone through this whole process themselves and can answer all your questions as you're going through it. And me personally, I mean, I'm not just saying this because I want to make money. I'm saying this because I want to make sure that you're doing the practices correctly. Because if you don't do them correctly, they may not work, and then not only does that hurt me, but it hurts the entire Bates Method community, because you might go out and say, oh yeah, the Bates Method doesn't work, but it might just be because you didn't understand it correctly or you didn't do the practices correctly. So I know that there's more people out there than I can personally work with and oversee and guide through this. So that's kind of why I'm making these videos, to give you more clarity about the true Bates Method and to make sure that you're not, you know, missing out on some important pieces of it. So we're going to move on to the next topic. number 2. But before I do, in case you do want to learn more about how you can work with me individually or in a group, online or in person, visit my website, integraleyesight.com. I do initial vision consultations where we can chat one-on-one for an hour so you can learn more about how this whole process works. There's a button on my website where you can book that. So, or just shoot me an email and we can chat to see if we can work something out. So the second deals with the emotional connection of your vision problems. And I actually just published a new blog post about this on my website, integraleyesight.com. So if you haven't read that yet, head over there, click on the blog, and read through that article. It might go a little bit deeper into what we're going to talk about here. Under one of my videos, Marsha Karen wrote, "This is exactly what I've been having problems with. When you told me to remember what was happening in my life when I first started wearing glasses, I thought, is he kidding? I'm lucky if I remember what happened last week. I don't even remember when I started wearing glasses. Junior high maybe? Traumatic for almost everyone. But this video is a big help." So what she's referring to, probably in one of my videos I mentioned how vision problems are not just physical in nature, but there's this massive mental and emotional component to the development of your vision problem in the first place. So I always encourage people to go back 6 months to a year or 2 years before you started wearing glasses or noticed a change in your vision, and just checking in to see what was going on in your life during that time. If you can discover any kinds of certain emotions, fears, angers, embarrassments, anxieties, worries, and more specifically the suppression of those emotions. So maybe if you had a stressful time or a traumatic experience, you didn't fully either feel one of those emotions or express it. Maybe you kind of bottled it up, held it in, and didn't share it with your friends or your family or with people around you. And when we hold in those emotions and we don't let them out, they don't just disappear, they stay there, and a lot of times they can manifest on a physical level, and a lot of times they manifest into the eyes, into vision problems. Because if you're ignoring something, if you're not looking at something, one part of your life, or blurring something out, that can actually make your vision blurry as well. So I understand the difficulty if that time in your life is hard to remember, if either it was a really long time ago, or you were very young, or maybe if it was traumatic, you have tried to forget it. You haven't thought about it in a long time. So it can be very powerful and very important to spend some time going back to that time in your life and really seeing if you can make these connections of, oh, that particular experience or moment contributed to my vision blurring. You don't necessarily have to relive traumatic experiences, but if you can just acknowledge that there's that deeper connection, whereas before maybe you didn't realize that those two things were connected, that can give you some really powerful insights about ways to deal with the underlying root cause to your specific vision problem. Because no matter how many eye exercises you do right now, if you don't deal with what caused the problem in the first place, they're not going to really do that much for you. So, if I use a metaphor of like a tree or like a bush, doing the exercises only physically, in the present moment would be just like pruning some of the leaves or the branches at the top. But the emotional stuff and the mental stuff, that's way down in the roots. So if you actually acknowledge those things and deal with some of that stuff and release some of these pent-up emotions, that's like ripping the whole plant up out of the ground. And so you don't even have to do any of the pruning or as many of the physical exercises, because you're dealing with the roots, the root causes. So check out that blog post and read through that. It kind of goes a little bit deeper into giving you some things to think about and maybe some strategies that you can use to release some of those things. So a couple other things here about this topic. Susie with 2 eyes commented. She said, "Hi Nathan, what do you think is the root cause for children who have to wear glasses? I had to start from a young age. I was around 10 years old when I was made to wear glasses. I'm 32 now. It's hard to imagine a child to have strain at that age." And I responded with lots of examples of what some of those strains could be. So I can list a couple of those, like issues in your family with siblings or parents, issues at school if you're struggling learning new concepts or you're falling behind, social pressures in school with peers, including bullying or certain embarrassments, coping with losses. Maybe one of your grandparents passed away, or one of your pets, and maybe you were very young and you didn't know how to deal with those feelings. Keeping secrets or lying to yourself, even something as simple as watching a scary movie with like a lot of blood and gore. If you're young, that can be kind of traumatic and you can kind of shut down. It's like a defense mechanism, and these fears get implanted. So yeah, witnessing or experiencing a traumatic event or experience that you're not able to process, suppression of emotions, inability to process or express emotions fully, arguments or fights with friends or family, whether they're really big or even really small ones. Maybe you just hold a grudge against someone, or something happens at school. Too much near work. The public school system doesn't allow our eyes to really stretch out into the distance very much. Video games, TV, movies, etc. So there's infinite different things that, even though you may not have thought that you were like stressed as a kid, there's all these very subtle and intricate things that can contribute to it. So if it's difficult for you to remember some of that stuff, what I did was I started just by going back to that age, figuring out what grade I was in, what school I was going to, who some of my teachers were, who some of my friends were at that time, what my family dynamic was, what was going on in the world around me. Some world events could also contribute to it. And I also just thought about some family pictures and home movies. I thought about what was the first picture I could remember of myself wearing glasses. That helped me figure out when I started versus before I had them. And that helped me just kind of start to jog my memory and go back to that time. And the more I sort of sat with it and meditated on it and contemplated with it, more and more memories kept coming up to the surface. So it might be hard at first, but if you just give some time to it, these things are going to start to bubble back up, because they're still down there. Even if it was 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you may not think it's still affecting you, but it might still be. Also, the last thing about this topic, the emotional thing, Kennedy Hicks left a comment saying, "Hello, I was wondering if you had any insights on how to cure dry eyes. I got it from wearing contacts, and this is why I'm trying to cure my vision. But I was wondering if Dr. Bates' method could help my dry eyes as well." So you might be wondering, what is dry eyes? What does this question have to do with the emotions? Well, sure, contacts can lead to dry eyes, but when you look at it from an emotional perspective, if you think about other functions of your eyes versus just seeing, eyesight is not the only purpose of the eyes. The eyes aren't just designed to receive light. They're also designed to express our inner feelings and our emotions. And one function of that is actually crying. So that's another purpose of the eyes, is to release tears, and that's a release of those emotions that I'm talking about. So sadness or grief or fear. If we don't cry, if we suppress this impulse to release those things physically out of our eyeballs, then that can actually lead to the development of dry eye syndrome. Because when the eyes aren't moist, they dry up. And then the lacrimal glands close up and they don't release the tears just as we need a constant tear film. So yes, the Bates method, doing the practices, it does help open up all the channels of the eyes. It helps produce more tears, more lubrication, more moisture. But you want to also think about, when's the last time you've cried? And it can either be what I'm talking about, feeling these emotions, or it could even just be watching a movie. I usually cry in a Pixar movie, that they always get to me. Um, or, yeah, doing some of the Bates practices like sunning and swinging and even just yawning can help produce some tears and start to make that function again. I also gave a couple other suggestions of ways to increase lubrication. Increasing your intake of plant-based oils like coconut oil, flaxseed oil, olive oil, sesame oil. This can actually contribute to the oils that are in your tears and your tear glands. Deep breathing, yawning, like I said, drinking plenty of clean water, so lubricating, hydrating. And then he responded saying, "Thank you, this has helped a lot. And this may seem strange to you, but I have gained much improvement with my eyesight with the help of your relaxation exercises." So that doesn't seem strange to me. That's what I expect and that's what I hope. And here's one example of proof, going back to the first topic of people posting that this stuff is working for them. So number 3 deals with the role of your glasses or your contacts or your lenses. Charasuri asked, how often should I wear my vision glasses, constantly or at certain times? And I recommended to think about your glasses like you think about crutches. So when do you use your crutches? If you have a sprained ankle or something, well, you use them when you need to walk. And then when don't you use your crutches? Well, when you're sitting down or when you're relaxing or when you don't have to use that part of your body as much. So when should you wear your glasses? Well, when you need to see. So if you're nearsighted, maybe when you're driving or when you're at work or when you're socializing or whenever you need to see things far off in the distance. And when don't you need your glasses? Maybe when you don't need to necessarily see things as clearly in the distance. So maybe when you're at home relaxing, maybe when you're cooking or cleaning or out in your garden or walking around outside or doing some exercise or yoga or meditation or your vision practices. So the general rule of thumb is you always want to be avoiding eye strain and encouraging relaxation. So if the activity you're doing creates a strain, you don't have your glasses on and you find yourself straining physically or mentally, you're trying really hard, that's an indication to put the glasses on for that moment, for that activity. And then when you're done with that, then you can take them off and you can check in again, see if you're relaxed now. So use the glasses as a tool as you need them, and don't deny yourself that you need them for those certain moments. But also keep in mind that you want to start to experiment with going without them more and pushing your comfort zone a little bit. Not so much that you start to strain, but giving yourself more opportunities to be without them. So only using them when you absolutely need them or when your safety or other people's safety is in question. The more you wear the glasses, the slower your vision improvement process tends to be. The more you can go without them, the more results you can get and faster. But just honor yourself, wear them as you need them. Elizabeth Suico asked, while doing these, am I to wear my glasses? So when doing the vision practices, no. All of the Bates practices are designed to be done without contacts or glasses in. Technically, you could do them with them on, but it would be kind of pointless, and you wouldn't really be able to notice when you experience a flash of clarity or an improvement in your vision. Because you want your vision to be blurry while you're doing the exercises so that when you achieve relaxation and focus, you can tell. So if you're doing it with your glasses on, you're not going to be able to tell the changes that happen in your vision. Andrew Krause asked, is palming beneficial during the day with contacts in? And technically, yes, palming will still be beneficial whether you have contacts in or not, because the darkness is still going to rest your eye and your optic nerve, and the warmth is going to relax the eye muscles. But once again, when you come out of palming, you won't really be able to tell if there's any change or improvement in your vision. And my stance on contacts in general is that they should not be used at all. That was the first step that I took in my process, was quitting the contacts cold turkey and just switching back to the glasses so that I could have the freedom to take them off, put them on throughout the day. Now that might not be feasible for you if your job, depending on your job or your activity levels or things like that. But so far, what I've seen in my students is the contacts really hold you back and slow you down, and the glasses give you a lot more freedom and faster improvement. Anime Rules says that my mom says that not wearing your glasses can strain your eyes. Is it still okay to do daily things without your glasses? Yes, that is true, that being without glasses can strain your eyes if and only if you don't know how to relax them. So this is a very famous thing that eye doctors will tell you as well, is that you need to wear your glasses all the time, 24/7, or else your eyes are going to get strained and your vision's going to get worse. Well, what's the point of the entire Bates method? Well, it's to learn how to avoid eye strain without glasses and how to achieve relaxation without glasses. So, yeah, if you don't know how to relax your eyes, being without glasses can lead to eye strain, more eye strain, and make your vision worse. But what I try to teach people is how to avoid that, how to feel the relaxation in the eyes and in the mind when you take the glasses off. Once you can relax without the glasses, that is the pathway to clearer vision. So if you take your glasses off and you strain your eyes, your vision's going to get worse. But if you take your glasses off and you learn how to relax your eyes, your vision's going to get better. So it's kind of a subtle thing there, but that's a great question, because that's probably what you've heard from your parents or your teachers or your eye doctors, is that not wearing your glasses is dangerous and it's going to make your vision worse and your eyes strain. But your goal in this process is to avoid all eye strain and learn how to relax your eyes. And once your eyes learn how to relax and your mind how to relax without the glasses, that's when you start to see clearly without them. And then you don't need the glasses. So that's a great question, and I already kind of answered that in the previous one. Of you need to really use that equation all day long when you're taking your glasses off and putting them on. Just asking yourself, is being without glasses stressful right now? So if you're at school and you have your glasses off and you can't read the board, that's stressful because you can't read what is going on. You fall behind and your vision's blurry, and then you start squinting and stressing out. So just put the glasses on, and then you can keep your eyes relaxed. But let's say, during a break between classes or during lunch or something, you take the glasses off. Ask yourself again, are my eyes relaxed or am I stressed out because of the blur? So you need to just kind of keep checking in with yourself, and all day long during different activities, different situations, different environments, figure out if you're straining or if you're relaxing. If you're straining, put the glasses on. If you're not, if you're feeling relaxed, you can leave them off. Number 4 deals with computers and computer vision syndrome. Their name's either Lil Ankh or Lila NC. I'm going to go with that one because I live in North Carolina. Under my computer vision syndrome video, they wrote, as a follow-up to your very concisely outlined routine, I'd also recommend people to take digital Sabbath days. It's not uncommon for most individuals today to be spending 40 plus hours in front of one form of screen or another, consuming not just our physical energy, but also placing blockers on much-needed mental breaks and relaxation. Digital Sabbaths can be flexibly interjected at any day of the week or at any frequency, any set frequency or duration, to hopefully reset your sanity from technology. What are your thoughts on this? And my response to that was just amen, because I totally agree. Whether it's computers, tablets, cell phones, it seems like we're just hopping from one to the other. When we get off the computer, we start looking at our phone. When we stop looking at our phone, we start looking at a TV, and it's just everywhere and never ending. So we need to unplug, and we need to give our eyes a break from these flat screens. right? Our eyes evolved and are designed to look at three-dimensional spaces and objects like plants and things in nature. So get outside, look at all different distances. Don't just stare at these flat screens all day. And I love the idea of a digital Sabbath where you take an entire day off of looking at screens and just set that intention. That's something that I've never done, and I would love to try that and see how that feels. And I just read this article about this thing called Camp Grounded, which is this like adult summer camp where you turn in your cell phone at the beginning of the week and you don't use technology for a full week, and you actually start reconnecting with other human beings instead of through technology. And that sounds like an amazing idea. It's something I might even want to go attend later this summer. They're having a couple in North Carolina in August. I think the rest of them are out in California. But yeah, this is going to be not only very, very healthy and beneficial for your eyes and your vision, but I'm sure it would have lots of other positive effects on your mental state and just your feelings. That just sounds so good. So I really appreciate that comment. It's a great idea, and I would encourage you all to listen to that great advice. And even if it's not a full day, maybe you make an intention to not look at a screen 1 or 2 hours before you go to bed, or maybe taking a break in the middle of the day for a couple hours. Or maybe if it's even just, like they're saying, a couple breaks throughout the day that are shorter. Just become conscious of your habits that surround the screens and the technology. I'm not sure what their username is. I think it's in Hebrew, which is great. I love how people watch these videos from all over the place. But this comment says, "Hi, first I want to thank you for all your videos. They're very helpful and I really learn a lot. One question I have, I work with a computer a lot of hours of the day. Would you recommend me working with 2 LCD screens instead of 1? This way I will always be moving from one screen to the other instead of staring." And yeah, I think that's a good idea. Instead of just being sucked into one screen, you can constantly be kind of shifting from the left screen to the right screen. Maybe have 2 windows open at once. I know I used to have a double display and I liked it a lot. Now I just have a big IMAX screen that I can have things spread out on. So that's a good idea, but also keep in mind your eyes don't only want this side-to-side shifting, but they also crave this in and out shifting. So like I was just saying about the flatness, even if you've got 2 screens, they're still at the same distance and they're still flat. So very frequently, not only be shifting from one screen to the other, but also look at something closer than your screen and farther from your screen. So looking out the window or something else out in the room, that's going to make an even bigger difference than just having the double display. Tessa Polar asked, does staring include watching a video on your laptop or a movie on TV, as this involves moving images? And yes, that is a form of staring. It's not necessarily your eyes are stuck on one point, because once again, they're scanning around the screen to follow the moving images, which is great. It's really good for your eyes to be shifting like that. But like I just said, they also need this depth as well. So when you're watching a TV show for 20 or 30 minutes, or if you're watching a movie for 90 minutes, 2 hours, try not to hold your eyes at that one distance for the whole movie. Every once in a while, either close your eyes or look at something closer than the screen or farther than the screen, just to avoid that flatness, that flattening of your vision. So that's a great question. Naveed Chaudhry said, would you ever recommend placing your screen farther away from yourself so your eyes are more relaxed? And yeah, that depends on if you're nearsighted or farsighted. If you're nearsighted, maybe moving it farther away would actually make it more uncomfortable because it might get blurry if you're doing it without your glasses. If you're farsighted, that might be a little more comfortable because it's, maybe clearer. But I would encourage you to experiment with the distance and find a really good, comfortable distance. So that's not too close. And I encourage people to change it maybe every day. Maybe today your monitor's at one distance. Tomorrow, maybe move it back a couple inches. Maybe the next day, bring it in closer, just so that you're changing it every once in a while. Or throughout the day, you can adjust it. But yeah, in general, your eyes are more relaxed when you're looking at things farther away. And the closer things are, the more your eye has to work to focus and accommodate. So I think that's kind of what you're getting at there, is if it's a little bit farther, it might be a little less of a strain if it's closer. So yeah, I would experiment with that. Great, so our fifth topic deals with LASIK, laser eye surgery. And once again, I can't pronounce your username, I think it's Greek. But someone asked, after 1 year of LASIK, I still have some issues like starbursts, halos, and glare when I see lights at night or at a dark restaurant. Is this method going to improve my night vision? So I have worked with some students who have gotten laser surgery and noticed some of those negative side effects, or they start to lose the clarity after 5 or 10 or 15 years. And yes, the laser eye surgery, very similar to the glasses and the contacts, is just covering up the symptoms, and it's not addressing the root cause of the problem. So there is a possibility that the Bates method can still help even after you've had the surgery, because you're dealing with the physical, mental, emotional underlying root causes of the vision problems. And we're focusing more on the muscles around the eyes to relax the eye, whereas the laser surgery just focuses on the cornea or the lens in the front of the eye. So, but the negative side effects you're describing here tend to be a result of the actual alteration of the cornea. Like I said, I've had some students who have experienced some relief and some improvement from doing the Bates method even after a laser eye surgery. So I would give it a shot. And just for people who haven't gotten LASIK, I would just steer you away from that because of negative side effects like this, and just because it's a temporary solution, and they don't usually tell you that when you're going in for the procedure, or sometimes they do, and people are still willing to just go the quick fix route, even if it's going to sacrifice your future vision. So just consider natural ways to achieve the same result first before you do the surgery, because that's slicing and dicing the eye and it's not really dealing with the root cause at all. Number 6 is one of the most frequently asked questions I get. It's about palming. A lot of people ask if they can do things other than palming. Some people either don't like palming, or their arms get tired, or like someone, their username is Health and Wellness, they asked, can you wear an eye mask at night instead of palming? And so, yeah, I mean, I consider these to be palming supplements, not palming replacements, because you still need to do your palming. It's one of the most important practices in the Bates method. But feel free to supplement your palming practice with eye masks or eye pillows or mind folds or a cool compress or a warm washcloth. These can all be ways to achieve additional relaxation, but you're missing the crucial element of the hands and the palms. It's called palming for a reason, because these are very powerful healing centers on the body. And when we place them right over our eyes and block out all the light, that can be very healing for your visual system. And just the skin-to-skin contact is very healing, but also the additional warmth that generates in your hands after 5, 10, or 15 minutes of palming. So if palming isn't in your practice right now, make sure that you revisit it and make sure that you get super comfortable with it. Lie down on your back, put pillows and blankets, just set yourself up so you're in this luxurious, comfortable position where your arms don't get tired and you can relax very deeply, because you need to make sure you're palming for long enough as well. 30 seconds or a minute is not enough. That's good throughout the day to take these little mini palming sessions, but a couple times a week you need to be setting aside 10, 20, 30 minutes or more at a time to do a nice deep palming session. And that's really going to increase the benefits and the results. Mr. Durbit says, you say that palming is much darker than while sleeping. is it good to completely get darkness in the sleeping room or to wear a sleeping mask? And yeah, I personally use very heavy, blackout shades in my room to make my room as dark as possible. But it's just so interesting how we can carry our eye strain into our sleeping overnight. Just like some people grind their teeth overnight, some people strain their eyes overnight, sometimes more than during the day. So the darker your room is, the more your eyes are going to relax. But if you do some nice vision relaxation practices right before bed, some swinging, some palming, that's going to decrease the strain overnight as well. But yeah, if you have any kind of lights on, a night light or a light in the hall or a digital display, a clock or something, make sure you cover that stuff up or turn those lights off and turn your room into like a deep, dark cave where it's almost pitch black. Like I've got this little air purifier in my room. It's got this little blue light, and you wouldn't think that is going to affect anything, but it's the blue light that tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, even if it's very dim. And overnight your pupils dilate and your eyes adjust to the darkness, and that one little blue light can actually fill up the whole room with this kind of dim blue glow. So I just put a little piece of paper over it and it blocks it out. And so yeah, just find ways to make sure your room's as dark as possible. Number 7 deals with clear flashes and night vision. Ishanya Deandrin Ishmael asks, I have high astigmatism and a degree of about -4 in both eyes. I did the yoga exercise with palming and I start to experience clear flashes multiple times in a day continuously. Is this a start of vision improvement? And how come I don't experience any clear flashes in the night? So once again, here's some more proof of it working for someone with the same prescription as the first person, -4. So yes, those clear flashes are an indication that the improvement is beginning. They are the very start of where you're headed. So it's like a little glimpse of what your vision can be if you keep going with it. So that's great that you've already been experiencing that. Congratulations. Keep doing it and keep encouraging that to come and happen. About your question about why it's not happening at night, the same thing happened to me. When I started getting flashes, they would all be during the day when the sun was shining, and my night vision kind of lagged behind. And it took me a while to realize that I wasn't doing any practices at night. I wasn't doing any vision stuff in the evening or in the darkness. It was all during the day or in the morning. And so once I started balancing out my day vision and my night vision practices, that helped my night vision start to develop as well. So make sure that you're not just doing it all in the day. Maybe go on a night vision walk without your glasses. Maybe do some of the yogic eye movements and the palming and stuff at nighttime, and that could start to help improve your night vision as well. But this is pretty common. A lot of people experience their day vision improves faster than their night vision. And that's what happened for me too. I mean, I got to 20/20 vision in the daytime faster than I got to 20/20 at night. So, just keep going with it and understand that day vision and night vision are two totally different animals. And we want to work with both, not just one. Number 8 deals with the role of relaxation and the importance of your mental practices and the mental approach. So Giselle D says, I've been doing various eye exercises that I found online, but it wasn't until I hit all the relaxation exercises that I really noticed a difference in my vision. Throughout the day, catching the tension that creeps into my shoulders and up my neck and consciously relaxing that has made an amazing difference in my vision. I was wondering if there are specific exercises that will target presbyopia and that I should focus on. So yeah, that is a really important realization that it's not just the eye exercises. It's about relaxation. And more important than physical relaxation is mental relaxation. Because no matter how relaxed your eyes feel physically, if you're still straining in the mind, if you still have psychological stress or worry or anxiety, then there's still some deeply embedded strain going on in the involuntary portions of the eyes. So mental relaxation is so important. So if you haven't watched my How to Visualize video, Bates Method 101, How to Visualize, that goes deeper into how to relax and to focus your mind by thinking of one thing best. In that video, I showed you, I demonstrated just with a tennis ball, but it can be with anything. You want to focus your mind on one thing best instead of thinking about 10 different things at once, stressing about all these different things at the same time. Only when your mind focuses on one thing best will your mind rest. And only when your mind is at rest will your nerves release their tension, which will release the muscular tension around the eyes. So you really need to pay a lot of attention to the mental strain and find ways to release that. That's going to be so much more powerful than just doing the physical stuff, right? So, and I'll probably create some more videos emphasizing the importance of the mental stuff and giving you some more strategies of how to focus your mind and relax your mind, because more and more I keep finding that that is the most powerful way to improve your vision. So, and in terms of your specific question about, specific exercises to target presbyopia, yeah, that's, all of the vision practices can be adapted to favor your specific vision issue, whether your blur's up close, in the distance, whether you have astigmatism, lazy eye, glaucoma. So that's what I do with my private vision students, is we figure out what you're dealing with and then figure out how to create a custom vision plan so that you know exactly what to do and when to do it, what to focus most of your time and energy on every day, so that you're not wasting your time and energy, just throwing the net out and hoping that you're going to get it right. Also, in my book, Give Up Your Glasses for Good, at the end, there's a chapter that breaks the vision practices up into different categories based off different vision problems. So that's a good place to get started to kind of try and figure out how to adapt these things to favor your specific vision problem. A couple other comments along this topic. Andrea Robinson says, "Thanks, Nathan. I almost fell asleep. I was so relaxed, both by your voice and shutting out the light. I think I will study the Bates method, then hopefully get my son to start. If it's been around for 100 years, there's a reason for it. Thanks." So that was under the palming video, where I guide you through how to palm your eyes and how to kind of relax your mind. And I'm glad that you got a nice deep state of relaxation from it. But I also want to point out the difference between the two different types of relaxation. One type of relaxation is passive relaxation, which sounds like this one, where it's kind of like a lazy relaxation where you're just almost falling asleep. It's so relaxing. You're just, your mind isn't really that active, which is definitely beneficial. I definitely encourage you to relax passively. But in terms of your vision improvement, the other type of relaxation may be more beneficial, and that's called either active relaxation or dynamic relaxation. The way that this is different is that you're still feeling very relaxed, but your mind is very alert and focused and attentive. So you're not feeling like you're so relaxed you're going to just pass out. You're feeling so relaxed that you are focused so much, and it's almost energizing how relaxed you are. So it's kind of like a paradox that the relaxation can create this alertness and excitement and energy. But that's kind of more what you want to move towards. And that's what I was just talking about, the mental focusing practices, where you can think of one thing best and hone your mental focus down. That is what really helps with this active relaxation. And, relaxing your eyes while you're doing your vision practices, you're swinging, you're palming. You don't want to be all lazy about it and not be mentally there and mentally focused. You want to keep your mind very sharp as you're doing all your vision practices, being very present. It's like that video of Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about how people can lift weights all day long and they're like listening to music, or they're distracted, or they're talking, or they're mindlessly doing it, they're not going to build muscle. But if you're really there, present, feeling it, that's going to create the results. And it's the same thing with the vision practices. If you're doing your swinging and you're not really there, then you're not going to achieve benefits. If you're palming and your mind is just wandering, or you're feeling like you're going to fall asleep, you may not get as many benefits as if you're very, very attentive, very focused about what you're doing right now. So that's a great comment there. Another comment from Tessa Puller. She says, I have an extremely stressful job as an emergency nurse, and I notice my vision is always at its worst after work. I've been looking into a career change lately anyway, but do you think one can still improve their vision with high levels of stress in their lives? So, yes, that's a great question. Naturally, you might think it'd be easier to improve your vision if you don't have that much stress in your life, but I've got students who are going to school or work, crazy jobs, lots of hours, and very busy, or they have the nature of their job is stressful, and they actually get more benefit out of these relaxation practices than if you don't have any stress, because you really feel the absence of the stress when you learn how to cope with it better. So the same answer here, this idea of dynamic relaxation. You don't necessarily have to quit your job or change your career. You need to just find new strategies to be able to tap into this dynamic relaxation to maintain this focus and clarity and relaxed mental and physical state while navigating through this stressful situation. So instead of being automatically turned into the sympathetic response of fight or flight, just panic, you want to really activate and nourish your parasympathetic nervous system that will move you more into the rest and relaxation state, or finding more of a balance between them. So I think all the Bates method practices help you move into the parasympathetic state, help you reconnect and tap into that relaxation. But what you want to do is to be able to carry that feeling into your work, into your job, when there's these stressful situations and time-sensitive deadlines and very important things that you have to deal with. But if you've already been looking into a career change, maybe that could be a part of your vision practice too. I know sometimes people, like I was talking about with the emotional stuff, if you're working a job that is unfulfilling, or it's not nourishing you correctly, or it's creating lots of unnecessary stress in your life, sometimes if you change that can lead to an improvement in your vision just by realigning your purpose and your direction in life as well. So just some things to think about, either changing your career or adapting how you use your eyes as an emergency nurse and how you react to stress. And there's lots of ways, the Bates method included, but other modalities and things that are designed to help train your nervous system to react in a better, more sustainable way. So number 9 deals with children and vision of young kids. Jeslyn Drusilla asked, Hi, my 4-year-old kid is diagnosed with 0.5 and 0.75. The eye doctor has asked to wear glasses at all time except sleeping and bathing. I plan to follow these exercises sincerely for her. How long will it take to see improvements and total relief? So that's another really popular or frequently asked question I get, is how long will it take? And I can't really answer that because everyone's so different. But in general, the younger you are and the less amount of time you've worn glasses, the faster and easier it is to get back to normal vision. Because when you're that young, your eyes and your brain are still forming and developing. So there's a little bit more plasticity there that we can work with to kind of steer you in the right direction. But it can always be tricky with children because they have to want to do the practices themselves. You can't really force your child to do the exercises. You have to kind of set it up in a way that instills, you kind of plant the seed in them and instills a desire for them to want to do it. Because if it's just coming from the parents, a lot of times they'll resist it. So whether that means doing it together as a group and finding ways to make it fun and exciting and just like you're playing games with each other, not like it's work or exercise or homework. So that's always the challenge that I find working with younger people is how can I present this information in a way and these exercises in a way that is really fun and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like they're just having fun. It'll be something that they want to repeat without you or without a teacher, doing it on their own in their free time. But certainly I applaud you for, being mindful and thoughtful in terms of wanting to prevent your child's vision from deteriorating. Because once you get in the glasses and you start wearing them all the time except for bathing and sleeping, that's when the vision starts to get worse and worse and worse, and it's a very slippery slope. So you're at a good point now before it gets too out of control, but you also want to make sure that you are maintaining relaxation in your child, right? So all the stuff I was talking about before with the glasses, if being without the glasses, if you notice your child squinting and straining, especially when they start to get into school, sometimes it can be better to wear the glasses to prevent the strain, because the strain is what makes the vision worse. One thing that I want to start to do locally in this area is start offering more of like a group class for children, like young children like yours, where you can come in together and do the practices together with other kids. Because since the Bates method is not a widespread thing and it's not popular in schools or anything like that, sometimes the child might feel kind of weird, like they're weird or strange, or because their friends aren't doing it. So a lot of times if other kids can do it together, that will really increase their chances of liking it and wanting to do it, kind of as like a team activity. So I hope to be setting something like that up here around Raleigh and Durham and Chapel Hill. Might be a little bit more difficult to get that to happen on the internet, but who knows? Maybe we'll set something up eventually. But I think the group setting is a really good way to do it with the kids. So our last topic today, number 10, deals with nutrition. It's either LBI or IBI. It says, "Hey Nathan, I have a question. Is there any kind of diet I can follow along with these exercises? Nutrition that is good for the eyes?" And yes, absolutely. I put a link up to the section of my website that talks a little bit about diet and nutrition and gives you specific suggestions of good foods to eat, and if you like taking supplements, certain supplements you can take for your eyes. Because what you want to do is not only take care of your eyes from the outside with the good vision habits and good vision practices, swinging, sunning, palming, etc., but you also need to nourish your eyes from within through the foods that you're taking in and the liquids that you're taking in, and avoiding harming your eyes through harmful foods and beverages. So in a nutshell, you want to be getting your good vision nutrients, like all your vitamins and your minerals and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin and zinc, through the food that you're eating, not solely through supplements. So usually the best food for the eyes are like the dark leafy greens, lots of fruits and vegetables. All the different kinds of berries are full of those good antioxidants for your eyes and your retinal health. You want to be drinking plenty of water, and things you want to avoid would be like highly processed foods and sugars, and excessive amounts of caffeine and alcohol. They can really wreak havoc on your liver, which is very connected with your eye health. And another question about this is from Janet Newbill. She says, Nathan, I've written before I have macular degeneration. I have found standard process Iplex and cruciferous complete, which I believe those might be supplements. My eyes have gotten almost 98% better. Yay! But I want to get out of my glasses. My eye doctor said it's remarkable. Plus, walking helped too. I've also been wearing my old glasses and been walking a lot without my glasses. So that is just incredible there. Once again, more proof that these things are helping with things as serious as macular degeneration, which according to the conventional approach is incurable. But nutrition is one of the best ways to work with macular degeneration and some of the more serious vision problems like cataracts and glaucoma and retinitis pigmentosa and diabetic retinopathy and things like this. So, yeah, I agree. Walking without your glasses is an excellent vision practice. And finding out which specific vitamins and nutrients and minerals that you need to be taking for your specific vision. And I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist, so it might be good to get some specific advice from someone like that. But I have been really enjoying reading this book by Dr. Neal Adams called Healthy Vision. This entire book is all about preventing and reversing eye diseases through better nutrition. And in this, it talks so much about just getting it through the foods, not through the supplements. They break it down into all these different vision problems and tell you exactly what you need to be eating and what you need to be avoiding. And then there's this great chart in the back that just breaks down all the different foods, the levels of different vitamins and nutrients they have in them. So this has been a really great resource I've enjoyed reading recently. And this doesn't even take any, vision exercises or, vision practices into account. It's just through what you're eating and drinking. So when you do both together, that's like the ultimate way to improve your vision. So I may make a separate video that goes a little bit deeper into some more specifics, more advice and recommendations of what foods and diets and nutritions that can help with your vision practice as well. So lots more for us to cover here, but I just wanted to answer some of your questions, and so happy to see more and more people subscribing and watching the videos and interacting with me in the comments sections. So feel free if you have any questions or comments, or if you, like I asked before, if you have any successes or experiences, that'll be really beneficial for you to share as well. Or if you prefer, you can just send me questions directly to my email, or you can go to my website. So thanks so much for watching, and keep asking questions.